Tonight, my talk is going to move forward a little bit in the reading to a couple of days from now, looking at Joshua 20. When I was first looking at this week, I realized a majority of this week's readings is uh, divvying up of land, because at this point in the book of Joshua, the conquest is mostly over. There's still some places they need to conquer, but they're at the point where some people could go and settle down. And so Moses had divvied up the lands before who would get to settle where. And so Joshua is giving out these places of inheritance. But in chapter 20 of Joshua, we see a few cities that get this uh, designated role that is very important. I think we could learn a lot about God's character from it. So I'm just going to read all of Joshua chapter 20. It's a short chapter. Then the Lord spoke to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites, select your cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally or accidentally may flee there. These will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When someone flees to one of these cities, stands at the entrance of the city gate, and states his case before the elders of that city, they are to bring him into the city and give him a place to live among them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they must not hand the one who committed manslaughter over to him, for he killed the neighbor accidentally and did not hate him beforehand. He is to stay in that city until he stands trial before the assembly, and until the death of the high priest serving at that time. Then the one who committed manslaughter may return home to his own city from which he fled. So they designated Kadesh in the hill country of Naphtali in Galilee, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kirath Araba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. Across the Jordan east of Jericho, they selected Bezer on the wilderness plateau from Reuben's tribe, Ramoth in Gilead from Gad's tribe, and Golan in Bashan from Manasseh's tribe. These are the cities appointed for all the Israelites and the alien residents among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there and not die at the hand of the blood of the avenger of blood until he stands before the assembly. So in the old law, if someone kills someone you are related to, you had the right to go and seek vengeance against that person, whether they did it intentionally or unintentionally. It was their form of justice that you could go and take that person's life. But God also, in this chapter, set aside certain cities that if you accidentally killed someone unintentionally, you had a place to go to seek refuge so the avenger of blood cannot take your life. However, someone is killed accidentally. The classic example is two people are, chopping wood and the axe handle flies off and accidentally kills someone. And so they had a place to seek refuge, not to be completely free from what they did, but it was a place where they could eventually be put on trial and receive the proper judgment for their actions. What this shows us here about God is God cares about justice and that people receive the right sentence for their crimes. God cares about justice, loves justice, and will give out the proper judgment to each person's actions. So if someone kills someone unintentionally, they won't have to lose their life. They're not necessarily deserving of that, but they will still be judged according to their actions. So God is a God who loves judgment, and he desires his people to love the right kind of judgment. And this pure judgment of God is not just there for his people, for the Israelites, but God's pure judgment is universal for all people. When it comes to these cities of refuge, at the last part of this chapter, we are also told that these aren't just for the Israelites, but also for the residing sojourners or aliens among them. That anyone can seek out justice for themselves in these cities of refuge. God cared about justice for all people. Under some governments, not everyone receives proper judgment for their actions. Under the Roman Empire, the people who really received true justice were Roman citizens. They had a lot more rights, a lot more easy access to proper trials. Remember the Apostle Paul, he was a Roman citizen. He was able to appeal to Caesar when his case wasn't going anywhere. But under God's justice, everyone receives the proper due for their actions. And we might celebrate that, think that's good that proper justice is served. But then we look at our own state. We see that we have all, as Paul puts it in Romans, have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And the consequence of sin is death. So if God is purely and solely a God of justice, we would all have been given that due punishment long ago. But praise be that God is not just a God of justice, but also a God of mercy. He cares about doing the right thing, and he also cares about saving people who desire to change their lives and do better. And he's offered us a path of salvation, a sort of refuge through Christ, who he sent down to pay that blood price on our behalf and offer a pathway of mercy. And that mercy that we receive through Christ, just like God's justice, is universal. It is for all people, not just Jews, but also all of us who seek that mercy. And so, if you're sitting there tonight and you see your guilt, you see your sin, you see the damage it's done in your life, you see how it separates you from God, and you realize the coming punishment for that sin if it's undealt with, there is refuge for you. You could come to Christ, be baptized from your sins, be cleansed from those sins, start your relationship with God, and walk in the new light. If there's anything we could do for you, anything we could help you with tonight, please let us know as we stand and sing this song.